You're here because you're thinking about buying the Fanatec CSL DD, the so-called affordable direct drive wheelbase, but you want the unfiltered truth. I'm going to give you the honest review no one else will, exposing the real-world problems I faced after months of use. But here's what surprised me most. This isn't just a simple thumbs up or down. Therefore, by the end of this review, you'll know whether the CSL DD is a hidden gem or if you should steer clear completely. For the best price, click the link in the description. Now, the Fanatec CSL DD is priced at $399.99, getting a 4.3-star rating on Amazon, which screams winner, right? But high ratings can be deceiving, like a politician's smile. They talk about a 5 Nm direct drive motor with patented flux barrier technology for smooth, detailed force feedback. They highlight the QR2 quick release and Xbox compatibility. It sounds perfect on paper. However, the first surprise came not from the performance, but from what's missing the moment you open the box. You get the base, a QR2 light wheel side, a 90W power supply, and some basic cables. But that 5 Nm torque feels polite. To unlock the advertised 8 Nm, you need the separate Boost Kit 180, which is essentially a bigger power brick. It's the gaming equivalent of buying a car but paying extra for the engine. Therefore, that attractive $400 price tag is a bit of a mirage if you want the full experience. But let's talk about setup, or as I like to call it, the compatibility crossword puzzle. It's designed for Windows PC and works with Xbox if you buy an Xbox-licensed wheel. The out-of-box experience isn't plug-and-play. It's plug-and-pray. You have the right USB ports. The quick guide is aptly named because you'll quickly need to Google the rest. My first joke for you. Setting up the CSL DD software felt less like tuning a racing sim and more like trying to explain the internet to your grandpa. Frustrating, confusing, and you're not sure who to blame. Therefore, the initial joy of unboxing can quickly turn into a desk-mounted headache. But once it's running, the force feedback is indeed a revelation coming from a gear or belt system. The detail is incredible. You feel every curb, every loss of traction. The linear performance is real. However, this is where we hit our first major problem: the QR2 light wheel side included in the box. It's made of a carbon fiber reinforced polyamide, which sounds fancy but feels like a compromise. Under heavy force feedback, especially if you upgrade to the 8 Nm Boost Kit, there's a noticeable and frankly annoying amount of flex and play. It creaks, it groans. It sounds like the wheelbase is having a stress-induced existential crisis mid-corner. Therefore, that precision connection they advertise feels anything but, undermining the beautiful detail coming from the motor itself. It's a classic case of the chain breaking at its weakest link. But perhaps the biggest issue, the one that doesn't get enough airtime, is the ecosystem lock-in. Fanatec is the Apple of sim racing, but without the seamless integration. Want a new wheel? Be prepared to pay a premium for a Fanatec-specific one. Their ecosystem is a walled garden with a very expensive entry fee for every new accessory. My second joke. Shopping for Fanatec add-ons is like going to a fancy restaurant where the bread is free, but they charge you for the air you breathe while eating it. Therefore, the initial cost is just the beginning of your financial commitment. But let's dive into the promised passively cooled design. The aluminum housing acts as a heat sink. In theory, it's elegant. In practice, during longer endurance sessions, the base gets genuinely, concerningly hot to the touch. Not warm, but did I just leave this on the stove hot? While it never thermally throttled on me, the heat dissipation feels like an afterthought, a design sacrificed for the sleek, compact look. However, when it works, the tuning menu is a savior. The standard settings let you jump in quickly. The advanced menu is deep, letting you tweak every aspect of the force feedback to your liking. This is where enthusiasts can truly geek out and find their perfect feel. But this complexity is a double-edged sword. Therefore, A beginner might be overwhelmed, while forum veterans will spend more time in menus than on the track, a phenomenon I call setting hopping instead of track hopping. But what about reliability? This is the dark corner of every online review. Scouring forums and user groups reveals a pattern. Some units are rock solid for years. Others have issues with USB connectivity dropping, power supplies failing, or the wheelbase simply deciding it no longer wants to be recognized by your PC. The quality control seems inconsistent. You're not just buying a wheelbase, you're rolling the dice on its longevity. My third joke: the Fanatec CSL DD's reliability is like a box of chocolates from a dodgy discount store. You never know what you're gonna get, and it might give you a stomach ache. Therefore, that 4.3-star average might be masking some very unhappy 1-star experiences. But let's be contrarian for a moment. For all its flaws, when the CSL DD works as intended, it delivers an experience that was unthinkable at this price point a few years ago. The jump from a Logitech G29 to this is astronomical. The silence, the speed, the detail, it fundamentally changes how you interact with a sim. It makes you a better, more reactive driver. However, when it works is a massive caveat, and the ecosystem tax is real. So, who is this actually for? Therefore, I'd argue it's for the committed sim racer who is willing to navigate the initial setup headaches, immediately budget for the 8nm boost kit and a metal QR1 or QR2 wheel side, and accept that they are buying into the Fanatec ecosystem for the long haul. It is not a casual plug-and-play upgrade. It's a project. But what are the alternatives? Competitors like Moza and Simagic have entered the market with compelling, often more complete packages at similar price points. Their quick releases are often more robust out of the box, and their software is catching up fast. However, Fanatec still has the advantage of brand recognition, a huge wheel library, and that native Xbox compatibility, which is a major factor for console players. Therefore, your decision isn't just about the CSL DD. It's a strategic choice about which ecosystem you want to be trapped in. My final joke: choosing a sim racing ecosystem is like choosing a fantasy football team. You're overly optimistic at the start. You'll invest more money than you planned, and halfway through the season you'll regret all your life choices. So after all this, what's the resolution? Should you buy the Fanatec CSL DD? Here is my honest, brutal verdict. Buy it if you are already invested in the Fanatec ecosystem with wheels you love. You are a tinkerer who doesn't mind software setup and part upgrades. You must have native Xbox compatibility. You understand the true cost includes the boost kit and a better quick release. Avoid it if you want a true out-of-the-box, no-fuss experience. Budget is your primary concern. The real cost climbs fast. You dislike the idea of proprietary ecosystem lock-in. You're a casual racer. This is overkill. The CSL DD is a pioneering product with brilliant engineering at its core, let down by cost-cutting peripheral parts and an ecosystem model designed to keep you spending. It brought direct drive to the masses, but with some significant compromises. Therefore, your money gets you incredible force feedback detail, but you have to pay more to unlock it fully and secure it properly. It's a product of yes, but. Therefore, click the link in the description to check the latest price on Amazon, read the most recent reviews, and see if it's the right fit for your rig and your wallet. This has been the honest review. Drive fast, but choose your gear faster.